Reddit is hitting the public markets and being covered as a rare social media IPO. But if you look closer, oh, nope, not that close. There. You'll notice this is an AI deal. Reddit started all the way back in 2005 by these guys. What began as a simple link sharing site became a place for online communities to share, talk, and meme the stock market into Valhalla. The finances for the company have been mostly under wraps because of its private status, but their IPO paperwork has pulled back the curtain. It revealed some financials, a pretty clear strategy, and some surprising stakeholders that we'll get to at the end. Reddit hasn't turned a profit since its formation. The primary positive stat that the company flexed was a 20% jump in revenue this past year. And these details are all well and good. I don't know. I'm not a stock picker unless I see a movie chain going out of business. But what I do know is I disagree with this guy, Rick Heitzmann, who is a very successful investor.
This is an old trend, right? This is social media, this is advertising-based content, and this will really be a litmus test on testing public market investor appetite for maybe non-AI things.
If you look closely, Reddit is absolutely leveraging the AI hype train to spark their IPO push, and it's doubtful they would be hitting the market right now without it. Their initial filing with the SEC mentioned artificial intelligence 7 times, and LLMs 18 times. They even mention it in the opening co-founder letter. Is Reddit worthy of attaching their wagon to the AI hype horse? Well, let's look at the facts. The primary reasons for the recent exponential advancement in AI, specifically large language models like ChatGPT, is the rise of 2 factors. The explosion of data in the past decade, as more people posted, commented, shared more than ever before digitally, and the compute to hold this data, train these models, and support a public launch. Reddit has had over 1 billion posts and 16 billion comments since its founding. Recently, and in a very timely fashion for an IPO, Reddit inked a $60 million deal with Google to allow the tech giant to train their models on user-generated content from the site. It's well established that large language models have used sites like Reddit to get sufficient training data, but the legality of that has caused some dicey situations now that publishers and social media sites are really paying attention. This $60 million deal likely won't be the last such deal that Reddit makes. As noted in their filing, they know that their content is valuable and somewhat differentiated from the style of writing that is featured on X and other similar text-heavy platforms. However, they also know that AI could be a threat to the platform. One of the key risk factors Reddit states is the possibility that the site's traffic drops significantly as people turn directly to LLMs for information, recommendations, and animated images of a duck riding a horse through the Sahara to defend the Alamo. This leads to another risk factor they don't talk about. If these models lead to a flood of AI-generated content that gets blasted onto Reddit, it makes that crop of user-generated content less valuable and severely diminishes the term altogether. A doom loop of models creating content posed as true user-generated content, spitting it onto a site, then training itself on that content is a disaster that major models are going to have to avoid. It has even been called a basis for model collapse. Regardless of these issues, there's much more for Reddit to gain from framing itself as an AI play than distancing itself from AI. Now, the best AI play you can make is subscribing to Synapse, where you can get key AI insights and stories in a no BS, normal person way. As for those surprising stakeholders I talked about earlier, one crazy part of this story is the fact that Sam Altman is the largest single stakeholder in the company, owning 8.7% of Reddit, double what co-founder and CEO Steve Huffman owns. Altman stands to make many, many millions from the IPO. Unfortunately, it's just a few $1 trillion short of his chip funding goal. Speaking of chips, check out our video on NVIDIA and the chip race it has against its own customers.